Welcome, Riddell Sports Network. These are the Week 16 NFL recaps. Coming soon, we're going to be on video, but for now, we're just going to have audio with the box scores up, just till we get this studio set here. I'm Dan, joined by Dave, of course.
Hey.
And Dare.
Chicken wings.
Okay. All right, so first up, we're going to start with the Thursday night game, which I believe is the last Thursday night game of the 2023 season. This is New Orleans Saints at Los Angeles Rams. Saints lose by 8. They have a late touchdown and a 2-point conversion to make it look close, but 15 fourth quarter points to make this look even remotely close. New Orleans falls to 7-8. They trail Tampa by 1 game in the division, but they play Tampa this coming week. Carr, 27 of 40 for 319, 3 touchdowns and a pick. Very good numbers if he could avoid that pick, but Rams defense looks good, and Rams move up to 8-7. They're 6th in the NFC. If the playoffs started today, they would play at Detroit in the wild card round. Puka Nacua, 9 catches for $164. Matt Stanford, as I put on the document, 24 of 34 for 328 and 2 touchdowns. Excellent numbers.
Puka Nacua is 147 yards away from the rookie NFL record for most yards in history. So he's got 2 games to do it, and he should. So Cooper Kupp had the second most receiving yards in a single season with 1947. And Calvin Johnson had the single season record with 1964. All of these were quarterbacked by Matthew Stafford. All these guys. It's just a stat that's pretty interesting.
Just to confirm, Jamar Chase is the current record holder, just from a few years ago. Buffalo at Los Angeles. Buffalo 24, Los Angeles 22. Los Angeles led 10-0 into the second quarter, which was nuts to see. I turned on the game when it was 10-0. Buffalo quickly answered with 14. They trail Miami by 2 games for the AFC East crown. They need to win out and Miami to lose out. Lucky for them, Miami plays Baltimore this week and then Buffalo in Week 18. So very possible that the Bills still win the AFC East. Easton Stick, 23 of 33 for 215. No touchdowns, no turnovers. Allen had his notorious interception, 15 of 21 for 237. Gabe Davis, 4 for $130 and a touchdown.
This is why you can't trust the Bills in a deep playoff run. Because they blow out the Cowboys one week, and then next week they play a Chargers team without Keenan Allen and Justin Herbert.
You got to win the ugly one. You got to be able to win the ugly one, too. Gabe Davis showed up. Where is he half the year? Go 4 games, 5 games, whatever it was, without a reception. It's good to see him show up. Add him with Diggs. Do this every week, and they'll be fine.
All right, next up, Detroit at Minnesota. Detroit wins 30-24. Goff, 30 of 40 passes for 257 and a touchdown. Gibbs was solid again. Amon-Ra again, 12 tugs for 106. This is his second double-digit reception game in a row. Nick Mullins, good across the board except when we get to the interceptions. 22 of 36 for 411, 2 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. Not good. You got to rein those in. Jefferson, back to form, hopefully, for Minnesota. 6 catches for 141 and a touchdown.
Minnesota, 11 rushing attempts total. 23 last week with Chandler. And, I mean, why are you not running the ball? Mullins should not have to be airing the ball out for 400 yards. Pound the ball, take some pressure off Mullins, probably cut his picks down to 1 or 2. This was a great game, though. Really good game.
Yeah, and if they're constantly dropping back to pass with Nick Mullins, the defense isn't even thinking about the run if you've only rushed 11 times the entire game. And it's not like you were down by 40 trying to throw yourself back into it.
That's including quarterback, running back, everything. It's crazy. It makes no sense.
Green Bay at Carolina. Green Bay 33, Carolina 30. Aaron Jones got the ball 21 times. Dave's a Packers fan. Do you ever remember seeing him carry it 21 times?
No.
This is impressive. There was one game I remember we were watching last Christmas, or around Christmas, and Aaron Jones was toting it for like 10 yards a carry, but they gave it to him 4 times, so I don't know what's happening. Jordan Love, 17 of 28, 219 and 2 touchdowns. Bryce, I almost call him Bryce Love, 23 of 36 for 312 and 2 touchdowns. Is he coming into his own? Nah, probably not. DJ Chark Attack, 6 catches, 98 yards and 2 touchdowns. For all you fantasy football fans out there who are, I guess this is a championship week for most leagues. Anything on these games?
Didn't you call this week a Twilight Zone week? That
Every
proves
game,
it right there.
Every game,
That
I was
proves
like,
it.
what the hell is going on?
Seattle at Tennessee. Geno Smith is back, 25 of 36 for 227, 2 touchdowns. Tannehill looked rough with a bad offensive line. We harp on this. Please, Tennessee. Mike Vrabel, I know you listen to this show. Just sit Will Levis the rest of the season. Ryan Tannehill can take the hits. It's fine. So Tennessee, of course, is eliminated. Seattle holds pace in the NFC playoff race. They are currently the 7th seed, so if they win out, they are in. This is a sad one. Jacksonville at Tampa Bay. Jacksonville loses again, 3rd straight. Trevor Lawrence, 17 of 29 for 211, 1 touchdown, 2 more interceptions. He's got to be nearing the lead for turnovers. It's Jalen Hurts, it's Josh Allen, and it's got to be Trevor Lawrence is up there. He's fumbling and he's throwing picks. He left the game with a shoulder sprain, and we checked this. He is on a did not practice as of recording, replaced by C.J. Beathard at halftime. Baker Mayfield, excellent again. 26 of 35 for 283 and 2 touchdowns. Mike Evans, solid as always, 7 snags for 86 and 2 touchdowns. And they led 20-0 at halftime. So the game, again, that I was looking most forward to other than Baltimore and San Francisco, I thought this was going to be just such a solid game, but Tampa blew them out.
Yeah, Baker brings it every play, and it's inspiring to see your leader, give that much heart. So, yeah, Bucks look good. Jags don't. They got to clean up. They got to clean up their turnovers. They got to take care of the ball.
Yeah, Jacksonville went from in contention for that 1 seed in the first round bye to now they're on the cusp of being knocked out of the playoffs. The thing in Jacksonville's favor, so unfortunately the Colts and the Raiders, for them, that might just easily go the Colts' way. But the 2 teams they're tied with, I mean, they're not playing well either. So Jacksonville, I mean, they have the Panthers this week, right? That's a win, right? Right? Right?
Please.
This was a very good game. Dallas at Miami. Dallas 20, Miami 22. Prescott was solid on the road. Typically, we don't say this. He ended up with 253 and 2 touchdowns. Most of it was like trying to claw his way back in the game because first half he was garbage. He was trash Prescott. So should we say Cash or Dak from now on? So they take a late 20-19 lead, but they left too much time on the clock. Miami drives down, kicks a last-second walk-off field goal. Tyreek, 9 catches for 99 yards. So they led 13-7 at half and 19-10 after 3, and Dallas crawled all the way back with 10 straight points. So it was a better showing for Dallas than they typically have, but it was still a loss. So they're currently the 5 seed, and if the playoffs started today, they'd be at Tampa Bay.
This Miami defense, I mean, that's the story of this game. They're looking great every week. Dak did his job. He went down. He took the lead. 4th quarter, did his job. All the defenses had to do was make a stop, and they didn't, and that's how it happened.
How about Cowboys 1st and goal? 1st quarter, 1st and goal from the 1, and you drop back to pass. What are you doing? Mike McCarthy, run the ball. If Dak could have just leaned over and put it in. I just don't get it. Run McCarthy out of town just like Green Bay did. Get rid of him.
McCarthy's trying to get the number 1 wide receiver of all time the ball. That's what we're.
That's actually a fair point. I would do that too. He would have 37 targets if he was on my team.
Shit, let him run too.
Yeah, screw it. And show Debo how to do it. All right, next we have Arizona at Chicago. Arizona falls to 3-12. The 12-point loss, 27-16. Chicago's still in the hunt. They have a very low chance to make the playoffs, but if everything falls right, Justin Fields 15-27 for 170. Khalil Herbert 20 carries for $112. And Kyler Murray, good stats, but they got hammered. 24 of 38 for 230 and 2 touchdowns. Anything on this pile of shit? No.
Nope.
Sunday night. Speaking of piles of shit, Sunday Night Football, 26 New England, 23 Denver. In my note, I'm going to read this exactly, which typically I just put bullet points, but this one's all you guys. I watched for 2-ish minutes and saw 2 missed field goals and then halftime.
I don't know. You started off the first half. I'm texting you guys. It's probably the worst game I've ever seen. Then the third quarter, New England starts lighting it up. They start actually showing an offense. And then Denver comes back with offense of their own in the fourth. It really, actually, the second half turned into a really good game. But the first half, I don't know what the hell was going on. I don't know what I was watching.
Yeah, unfortunately, this was on prime time as well. This should have been buried in the 1 o'clock games and just blacked out for everyone. Nobody wanted to watch this. But then I guess it turned into a good game.
Yeah,
So
second half was really good.
So just some stats for you. Bailey Zappi played well, 25 of 33 for 256 and 2 touchdowns. Russell Wilson, 25 of 37 for 238 and 2 touchdowns. So back and forth. Yeah, I got nothing.
The New England defense looked good for a little bit, but yeah, it was
Three
not
quarters.
a great game. The New England's problem is their glaring problem is the quarterback issue. If they could get another quarterback, then you can figure out your next problems. Speed in the receiver?
Yeah.
You think Zappi's it?
You got no receivers. You got Ezekiel Elliott, your main running back right now.
slow. Everyone's slow on New England.
Yeah.
Is Bailey Zappi the guy to me? No. But is he the problem? I don't think so. I'd like to see Bailey Zappi get a chance with someone drafting like some good players or sign. You said Mike Evans is. I'd hate to see him in New England, but you said Mike Evans is a free agent. Give him some skill position players. All right, my favorite game of 2023. Las Vegas at Kansas City. Las Vegas 20, Kansas City 14. Aiden O'Connell did not complete a pass after the first quarter. He was 9 of 21 for 62 yards in a win. So Zamir White, Jacobs was a last-minute scratch, and Zamir White 22 carries for $145. So in the second quarter alone, the Raiders had 17 offensive yards and 14 points scored. Yeah, mind blown, right? Crazy. So Bilal Nichols and Jack Jones, a fumble return and a pick six respectively, completely put this game out of reach. Kansas City outgained Las Vegas 308 to 205 in a loss. Tell me when you've heard this. Mahomes was the leading rusher for Kansas City with 10 carries for 53 yards. The whole game, we were all watching this. It was a Christmas day. We had the whole family, the brothers you guys haven't met yet. Everyone was there watching this game. The body language for Mahomes and Kelsey, just on simple incompletions, things not going their way, was terrible. I don't know what's happening, but Kelsey had multiple sideline blowups, including one where he threw his helmet in a crowd of people, including like staffers, water boys, that kind of thing. Not that water boy, because he would have smashed Kelsey, but Andy Reid had like physically bumped Kelsey on the sideline. Did you guys see that?
Yeah, threw on my shoulder.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's just the crying, the whining. It's just pathetic to watch. These guys, we've watched them essentially dominate the AFC for 5 straight years, is it? I think this is Mahomes' year 6. He didn't start his first year. So at least for 4 seasons, we've watched them dominate the AFC. And they can't lose with a little bit of class and dignity. It's really hard to watch. But it's also hilarious. Because as much as I love Andy Reid, whenever ESPN grabs onto somebody and overhypes them, it makes me dislike them. And that's Mahomes. Is he great? Yeah, of course. But there's other people as well. There's other people in this league. I don't know if you know it, but there's other quarterbacks that we could talk about. Kansas City, after all that, because of Jacksonville's poor play, is still the 3 seed. And if the playoffs started today...
So I think Kansas City's problem, what they got to do is go more towards the run and have Patrick Mahomes be more of a complementary player, because when they have Pacheco going, I mean, this is still a great team, but they want Mahomes to keep throwing the ball to who? I don't know. He's got to run it because nobody can open, nobody can catch it. I mean, I can see the frustration, but that's a little much. You guys been winning for 4 years. It's like, learn to lose.
Ready for this? If the playoffs started today, game 1 would be Buffalo at Kansas City. Rematch. So I think I'm taking Buffalo on that one again. But yeah, it's fun to see Kansas City lose because I love Andy Reid. He's a Hall of Famer. He's my boy. But these guys are such crybabies, and you put Travis Kelce in 72 commercials. One for COVID, one for now he's Ma'auto, yeah.
Give me two at once.
Yeah, he is throwing tantrums like a 5-year-old on the sideline every single game. And I just wish there was a chance, if Denver didn't blow it, that we would have seen Kansas City on the road in the playoffs, or even missing the playoffs entirely. Giants at Eagles. Giants 25, Eagles 33. Joey Donuts or whatever was benched for Tyrod Taylor. 9 of 16 for 55 yards. Taylor was 7 of 16 for $133 and a touchdown and interception. And Barkley only had 80 yards on the ground. So how the hell was this game even close? Look at the stats that I have on this screen, and either of you please tell me how this game was close.
Did they get a defensive score?
Yeah.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah, but even so.
Still looking like a blowout. It should have been a blowout. And this is what Philly needs to do. Philly needs to start blowing these teams out. These crappier teams, they need to start blowing them out. They need to make a statement going to the playoffs, because this squeaking by, I said it earlier. I said it weeks ago. All this close, keeping these games close, eventually your luck's going to run out.
If the playoffs started today, Seattle at Philadelphia for a rematch. This time in Philly, though. The Giants outscored Philly 15-0 in the third quarter, which included a pick six, Jalen Hurts' inevitable turnover, 24 of 38 for 301 and a touchdown. So I guess it was technically 2 touchdown passes because he threw one to the Giants defender. They led 20-3 at halftime to the Giants at home, and somehow the game was close. Unbelievable. So they blew a double-digit lead. I don't know if you guys remember, but they were up double digits on Seattle last week and blew it. So Jalen Hurts in the clutch is worse than he is on a regular play. Finally, DeAndre Swift, I haven't looked up how many carries he's had every game, but this time I actually had 20 carries. Like, can we do this, or are we just going to have this be a one-off?
The last, 4 weeks, he had 6, 11, 18, 20. With the 6, obviously. But
6 and 11. You got to be 20, at least 20. Right around 20.
If it was me and I'm running the show, dude's having 20 to 25 every week. It would be Bills versus Cowboys Josh Allen numbers for Jalen Hurts every single week. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like 15 passes max.
Yeah, he can take the load. Swift's definitely a back that can handle that kind of load, 20 to 25.
What's the coach's name?
Nick Sirianni?
No. So I was listening to Nick Sirianni do an interview, and he's very situational football. Depending on if it's 2-7, 2-3, 2nd and 3, 2nd and 7. Depends on what he does. He's very situational. He's already got a game plan before he even knows what's going on in the game. So that's why these numbers are so fluctuating with the carries.
To be fair, though, if he has a game plan for each situation, the game plan sucks. Mm-hmm. So this is Jalen Hurts' first 300-yard passing game since Week 9.
Jesus.
Yeah, and most of them were sub 200, so I had to check that. All right, in the last game, Baltimore 33, San Francisco 19. Wow. I think we were all on board that 5.5 was a pretty big number for Kansas City, for Baltimore, San Francisco, but this was actually insane. When I looked at it, and I promise you this is true story 100%. I fell asleep because for Christmas I was up all night working into the Christmas morning, and then it was up the entire day, so I fell asleep. I woke up and saw it was like 33-12, and I just assumed it was San Francisco 33, Baltimore 12. I was like, oh, that sucks. And then I turn on the game, because I was looking at the score. I turn on the game, and it was, whoever was the announcers were like, oh, praising Baltimore. I'm like, why? They're getting hammered. Yeah, 33-19. Unbelievable. And it's a late touchdown. Brock Purdy, 18 of 32 for 255 and 4 interceptions. Lamar Jackson, who somehow they're saying is the MVP now, 23 of 35 for 252 and 2 touchdowns. I still think it's Christian McCaffrey, but we could harp on this all day. It's going to be a quarterback, right?
Yeah, that defense was ferocious. Lamar just he wore down that defense, running all over the place. They chase him 20 yards. You know what I mean? He couldn't keep up with them. Yeah, Baltimore looks really good. I don't know about Lamar being MVP, but they definitely look really good right now.
So the problem with Lamar is his numbers. His numbers aren't as good as Purdy's, but he looks more the MVP type.
Yeah.
He wins his games. As for Purdy, he's more of a point guard. Now, think about it, Mario Chalmers to LeBron James.
Yeah.
So Purdy would be Mario Chalmers and Christian McCaffrey, LeBron James. Would you give Chalmers the MVP? No.
I mean, if he's got 30 dimes a night, you probably would.
Maybe.
No, I get
You get where I'm at?
Yeah, I get you. Yeah, definitely.
Or is it Russell Westbrook to Kevin Durant? Russell
I
Westbrook's
know
won the
him
MVP.
like 15 years ago, kind of. But
Yeah.
Who the fuck is Mario Chalmers?
exactly.
Okay, fair point.
Yeah.
Baltimore plays Miami next week for the 1 seed in the AFC. If the playoffs started today, Baltimore would have the first round bye. Miami could either be the 1 seed or the 5 seed or even the 6 seed within the next 2 weeks, which is nuts. If they beat Baltimore and Buffalo, actually, if they beat Baltimore,
It's going to go down to the last game.
it'll go down to the last game, yeah. So Ravens would need a Bills win and a win. But yeah, it's wild how this season could play out. And I wasn't sold initially on just having one team have the bye, but it makes every game feel more important. And it gives more teams a chance to sneak in because we're week 17 and 12 teams for each division. There's only 8 teams eliminated total. And I guess that's the money thing for the NFL, right? You get the fans still interested, going to the games, paying $200 a pop. All right, so that'll do it for us. Let us know whatever. I got nothing. I'm exhausted. Thanks for watching, I guess, is the thing. So check out Cash or Trash coming up in a couple days, and then we'll have previews coming up, or predictions, whatever you want to call it. Total side note, go out and watch The Iron Claw. I love this movie. This is sports, but I guess professional wrestling is kind of considered sports-like. So go watch Iron Claw. You guys have anything else? Anything clever to say? No? All right. Goodbye.